Today I went out and shoot a bunch of photos with my A7S II and GH5, and let's see if you can spot the difference if I put them one after another in a slideshow here, and I'm gonna put some side-by-side comparison as well. So the color right off the bat is quite different. You can see the color, one tends to be green, another tends to be magenta. You probably can't get a hint there. If you're familiar with both systems, you probably can already tell which one is which. But overall, I think they both look great. This A7S II has only 12 megapixel, but it looks really sharp. The images come out really sharp for some reason. The GH5 has 20 megapixel, but I cropped it in to 3:2 aspect ratio to match the A7S II, so that I don't give away the which is which. So effectively, I'm using 16 megapixel instead of 20 megapixel of the GH5 sensor. So let's see if you can tell the difference. Too bad that I cannot really test the dynamic range that much because it's overcast. There's no sunlight, no strong shadow and highlight contrast scenarios. But still, it's nice to take a look at the image quality comparison. In my opinion, both look really great. Especially, I'm surprised by A7S II. 12 megapixels doesn't sound impressive at all, but the image quality actually comes out really great. So I'm gonna zoom in 2-3 times, and you can see the difference when you zoom in side by side. Can you tell the difference now if I zoom in? Which one is which? I would say it's still a little bit difficult to tell. At 3 times crop, I still think it is pretty difficult to call which one is which. So let's jump into a 5 times crop. So with a 5 times crop, maybe you can see a little bit difference. One of these images is a little bit sharper. A little bit sharper doesn't mean more detail. So in terms of detail, I think the A7S II definitely is providing enough detail for still photograph. So why do we need high megapixel, high resolution? I think the 12 megapixel is more than enough to shoot photos. So here's the review. The first photo is always A7S II, and the second one is always from the GH5. So the A7S II has a tendency to get greenish picture, and the GH5 has a magenta look. In comparison, the GH5 looks a little bit too magenta-ish, but actually, if you don't compare to A7S II super green picture, a GH5 picture looks just right. It looks pretty great. So A7S II pictures definitely need some color grading, color correcting. If you want to use those pictures, you can't just use them straight out of the camera raw pictures. They're gonna be green. They look so green. It's always been like this. And I tried to color correct a little bit in Davinci Resolve, so not in a photo editing software. I tried to get rid of the green, but when I increase the magenta, it makes the water look overly magenta. So if you compare that to GH5 looks just more natural, and A7S II now after correction is too magenta. So yeah, it's kind of difficult. I probably need to do that in a Lightroom or photo editing software instead of in Davinci Resolve in a pinch right now. But yeah, that's the difference, and hopefully this video has been helpful and useful, and thank you for watching. Subscribe and like to support channel. Thank you very much. See you next time.